Hello, my dear students. In this video, I'll begin with the fifth module. The first chapter from the fifth module is web scraping. So, what is a web scraping? Web scraping is a terminology that is used for using a program to download and process the content from the web. So, basically, it is a description regarding the process that is involved in the information to be downloaded from the internet to the system and the theory behind downloading the information. So, in order to understand all these things, you should be aware of the four terms, that is web browser, requests, beautiful soup, and Selenium. So what is a web browser? So all of you are very much aware the client side programming, which is a browser used for accessing the information from the internet. So here in this case, web browser comes with Python and opens a browser to a specific page. So if you are going to use this module, so web browser in the Python is said to be as a module where you will be able to use this module in order to open a browser to a specific page. So what is meant by request? So requesting is nothing but downloading something from the internet. So Beautiful Soup is also a model which is used for parsing the HTML. So if you are not aware about the HTML is a hypertext markup language which describes how the HTML pages are structured. That is how the web pages are structured. So in order to parse through all these web pages, the module that is required in Python is said to be as a Beautiful Soup. So what is a Selenium? So Selenium launches and controls a web browser. So Selenium is able to fill in forms and simulate mouse clicks in this browser. So whatever the interaction that is going to happen through the browser, so all the interactions are being carried out with the model known as the Selenium in the Python. So let's just understand only the two lines of the code, that how we will be able to get connected to the internet, or rather you say the browser, through the Python program, or else what are the modules that are required for connecting to the browsers through the Python program. So what do you require for doing that here is, so just spare me a minute, I will just connect to the internet. In order to run all the programs from this chapter and the all the chapters from the fifth module, you require the internet connection. So sorry for the inconvenience. So in order to get connected to the any of the browser through the Python program, you need to use the module known as the web browser. So the for that you need to import that module, import web browser. So among this module, the method that is used for opening the any web pages is said to be as the function known as a open, which has to be used with the name web browser. So simply if you use only open, it is meant to open any file from your local system, but here you want the open method to be used in order to open the web pages through the browser. So that is done with a module known as a web browser, which you have imported in this first line here. So how to use the open method? Web browser dot open. The parameter that you have to pass to this open method is the address or the URL of the web page which you want to open here. So in this case, in this example, you can see here, I have used the URL of the VTU site, that is vtu.ac.in. The complete URL has to be given as a parameter to this open method. So once I run this program here, so directly will be directed to the browser where it is going to open this particular page here. So let me run this function here. So you can see here, once I run this function, it is not going to show anything on the console. Instead, it is just directly going to open the browser. So within that browser, you will be able to see the web page of the URL which you have passed as a parameter to the open method. So you can see here in this open method, you can see here in this open method, the URL that you have taken is a vtu.ac.in. So once I run this program, you will be able to see this web page directly. So this is the very simplest way how you can connect to the internet through the Python program. So these are the two basic lines that you need to remember, or rather you can see the basic module that is required to be remembered in order to use the Python program for dealing with the internet. So web browser, along with the web browser, the method that is required for connecting to the web pages is the open method here. So next we'll see one of this very simplest application, that what you can do once you are able to open the any web pages through the Python program, or else we can say that how best the Python program can be used in order to deal with the internet connection here. So one of the application that has been discussed here is getting the Google map of a particular address. So the intention over here is, suppose if we have copied some address and if you want to open that address directly in the Google map, so what is the genuine process that you require for doing this through the Google map? So if you want to use it, first you need to type the Google map in the browser, and then once the Google map has been opened, there you are going to type the or paste the address in the destination, and then it is going to locate to the particular location from that Google map. So these all things can be reduced once you have one, if you are going to write it in a Python program. So let's see how it has been done here. So this is what your program is going to do here. So it gets a street address or any address from a command line arguments or the clipboard. The possibility for giving the address over here is, so one of the method is you can just copy the address and keep it in the clipboard, or else you can just type the address as a command line argument. So the feasible or the efficient way is copying the address which needs to be directly taken from the program over there. So then once you have done that, the program which you are going to run for this purpose, it has to open the web browser to the Google Maps page for the address. So these are the two things that needs to be done with the program for which we are going to discuss now here. For that, doing that, what you need to cover in your program is read the command line arguments from the system.argv, read the clipboard contents, call the browser.open function to open the web browser. So these all things needs to be covered in the program that we are going to discuss now. So the name of the program that I have written here is mapit.py. So this is the program that I was discussing here. So as I told you, in order to write a Python program which is going to deal with the internet, the default or the mandatory module that needs to be used here is the web browser. So along with that, you also require the SYS module, and even you require the paperclip module. So why these two modules are required here? So as I told you that, as I just we discussed now, we require to pass some command line arguments as a parameter to the function to be executed from this program. So for that reason, we require the SYS module. So as I told you that we need to copy something and directly that needs to be pasted as an argument to the program. So for that purpose, we require the paperclip module here. So what has been done this in this program is, this is the very simple program, though the some things needs to be confusing here, but these are going to be a very simple lines of the code here. So first thing is we need to check whatever the arguments that we are passing to run this program, it needs to be at least greater than 1. In the sense, the parameter needs to at least contain the name of the program to be executed. So that's why we have taken here as to check the number of the arguments. We are using the length function. So how to get the arguments that are being passed as a command line arguments to function is sys.argv. So it should be greater than 1. If it is greater than 1, then address is equal to, so join, you are going to use the join method. Along with that, so what needs to be joined is the value which needs to start with the indexing value 1 till end. So you are going to skip the 0th value. So what is the 0th value here in this function is, the 0th value is nothing but the name of the program to be executed. So the program that is going to be executed will be stored in the index value 0. So excluding that, you just want to extract the rest of the address, that is nothing but the address which you want to locate from the Google Map. So that needs to be extracted, and which is going to be joined in this variable known as the address here. And suppose if you are not interested to type anything as a command line argument, or the address as a command line argument, so in the other cases, you are going to just copy the content which will be kept internally in the clipboard. So in that case, you are going to enter into the else part, so where you are going to extract with the help of a paperclip.paste. So this method paperclip.paste, it is going to get the contents whatever has been copied and which has been kept from the clipboard here. So in the both the cases, basically the address which needs to be searched from the Google Map will be stored in the variable address here. So once that is done, the next thing is very easy, where you need to open that address now. So where you want to open that address, you want to open that address from the Google Map. So the URL of that Google Map needs to be taken with the open method, and along with that, you also want to specify the which particular location from that Google Map to be traced. So the location that you want to trace from the Google Map is stored in a variable address. So that's why you can see here, to this string we have concatenated with the value that is stored in the address variable here. So in total, it means that you are trying to open this, or locate this with the opening with the Google Map with the help of this open method, right? So how to now we'll see how we'll be able to execute this program. So executing this program is little trickier here. So you need to execute this program with the command line arguments. So we'll start doing that. So open the command prompt. Right, so here you can see here, by default it is going to point to the C drive, but in order to run the any Python program, first you need to set to the path where the Python program is located here. So my Python program is located into this folder. So I'll just copy the path of this folder here. So then here I'll use the command known as a push T. So if you remember the examples that I have earlier discussed, you would rather use these functions for changing the path here. So you can see here the path has been changed. Now you can see the path is pointing to the exactly the same folder where we have stored or saved all the Python programs here. So once we have done this, the next thing is, or the command that is required for executing the Python program is py. So followed by you need to type the name of the file here. So the name of the file here is mapit.py. So before running this program, I'll just recall one more thing. Probably you might have forgotten the steps to execute the programs using the command lines. So within the same folder, I told you that you should have a Python script file here. This one. So Python script file which is located with the notepad, which is created with the notepad. So in this case, you can see here, you need to specify the path of the python.exe file. Along with that, as a second argument, you need to take the absolute path of a file where it is located. So you can see here, mapit.py is located into the class programs within the college classes and the fab. So this thing already have discussed in the earlier videos. So if you do not remember it correctly, you can go through it once again. right? So this needs to be there by default. Okay, so once that has been done, so one more thing is I'll just want to copy some address into the keyboard so that we can run the program. So for that I require some address here, right? So I'll directly take the same value that has been taken in your textbook. But meanwhile, it's not mandatory to go with the same thing. So you can always try with the new addresses if you want. So try with the new addresses, whichever you want. For that, you need to type the address and then you need to specify that as an argument for that function there. So this is the address which we are interested to get here. So you can see here, I'll just copy it, right click, copy it. I have not done nothing else from copying it. So right. So here you can see here I have used the command known as a py, and then you can see the name of the program here followed by nothing. So I'll not pass the any argument. So with the program what you have written, there is a two possibility is that you can either write the second argument, which is the address which you want to locate from the Google map, or else you can just copy it, right? So copy it, simply just press the enter over here. So you can see here what it has done. It is going to open the web page, so the Google map web page along with the location what we have typed it here. So you can see here the location is with the red symbol that has been taken along with the description on the left side of the screen here. So what is done in this program, I think at least you got it now. So in this program you can see here, so the whatever the thing that I have copied, the address is going to be executed with this else part. Why? Because we have not typed as a first argument here. So instead we have just copied it. So which is the copied content can be retrieved with the paste method from the paperclip module here. So that is going to be stored in this address variable. So that is going to be concatenated here with the open method. So that means the entire part along with the address is going to be opened in the browser, and which is going to locate from the Google map here, right? So the another possible way here is, so I'll run the same program. So here instead of just pressing the enter, I'll copy that, paste that address over here. So you can see here, even I can pass the second parameter of which is the address as the second argument to the Python function here itself. So in this case also it is going to do the same purpose. So here also it is going to give you the same result, but the difference here is the program in which you have written. So which part from this program is going to be executed for the second method, that is this method where you have given the address in the command line argument itself. So you can see here the address I have given here as a part of the command line argument only. So in this case, which part will be executed? So in this case where I have passed, in this case which part from this program is going to be executed? It is going to be executed from this part. So where it is going to check whether the system dot argument length is greater than 1. Yes, of course it is greater than 1. Why? Because so the first argument here is, let me clear one thing for you here, that so to this py method there are the two arguments. The first argument is the name of the file which is going to be executed here, and the second argument is the address which you want to locate from the Google map, right? So the first argument is this one, so it is going to check whether the length is greater than 1. So of course it is greater than 1. That means you have passed the second argument through the command line itself. So in this case it has to retrieve the this part here. So how to retrieve that? You can see here, join. So you have used the slicing operator on this. So this is the part of the system dot argument variables from the environment variables, right? So which part from these two arguments you are interested? You are interested in the argument which is located at the index value 1. Why? Because so the at the index value 0, what will be there? At the index value 0 you have the map it.py. So at the index value 1 you have this entire address. That's why you can see here in this indexing you have taken it as 1 is to till end. So that means you want to start extracting from this first value till the end. So this entire part will be extracted and which will be joined to the variable address here. So the same thing is going to be applied over here and which will be located. So I hope this example is clear to you people. So I hope it is clear to you that what is a web browser module and how you will be able to extract the addresses and how you will be able to open that address with the help of the Google Maps here. So let's continue with the next concept. Right. See here is a table which will describe you regarding what does it is going to make a difference if you write a Python program for locating the address with the Python file, or else if you do it manually through the website. Right. So if you do with the manually, you can see here what needs to be done is first you need to highlight the address, you need to copy that address, then you need to open the browser, then you need to type this address in the browser and open this web page, and then you need to click on the section address text field, paste this address and press enter. So if you do all these steps, then only you'll be able to get the result of the location which you want to search from the Google map. But the same procedure or the same thing can be done with the Python program just within the 3 steps. You need to just copy the address and then you need to run this program, which is going to give you the result what is done with this manual method here. Is it clear? Okay. So what else you can do with this these kind of the concepts? So what are the other similar programs that you can do? So you can do you can open all the links on a page in a separate browser tabs. You can open the browser to the URL for your local weather, and even you can open the several social network sites that you regularly check. Okay, so you can, however, you can try with all these methodologies. So coming to the next concept from this chapter is downloading the files from the web with the request module. Right. So the first part is we have seen how we'll be able to open the web pages. The web pages which we want to view through the browser, how we can do that. So we can do that with the help of the web browser module. So in this section we'll see how we'll be able to download the contents of the file from the web to your screen or the system. Okay, so for doing that, what we require here is we require a module known as the request. So the request module lets you easily download files from the web without having to worry about complicated issues such as network errors, connection problems, and the data compression. So we'll see how it is done again with a Python file here. So for that, as I told you, you need to import the module known as a requests. See, suppose while executing this example, if you get an error like the module not found, the request. So in that case, what you are supposed to do is you need to first install that module from the internet. So how to install any module? So it is pretty easy, while you can do it very easily with the help of a pip install command. So what you need to do is you need to open the command prompt. So you need to run the command pip space install followed by the name of the module, that is the request. Okay. So once you have done that, you can directly import that module to the into the file. So import request, and here we are creating an object for this module request. So res is equal to request dot get. So dot get method is going to fetch the contents of the file which you want to get from the internet, right? So this get method needs to be used with the module request.get. So if you do so with a variable, so this variable will be treated as an object here. Okay. So to this get method, what is the parameter that you need to pass here is you need to pass the parameter of the file or the complete URL of the file which you want to extract the content. So in this example, you can see here, this is the URL of the file. So at the end, you can see .txt file. Through this URL, you want to access the contents of this file here. Right. So immediately after that, you can see here, we want to check out what kind of variable this is considered here. So for that, you can see here the type method is used on this variable just to check out what kind of variable it has been considered here, right? So after that, you can see here result dot res dot status underscore code is equal to requests dot codes dot okay. So this particular line is used for checking is everything working correctly. So in case whether you are able to connect it to the internet, whether you are able to connected to this web page, whether that web page exists or not. So is everything going fine is going to be checked with this line here, right? So once that has been done, we are interested to know the length of that file. Suppose if you are interested to know the total contents of that file, in that case you can go for using the len method on this res.txt. So this file, if you want to know the length of or the size of that file, you can go for using the len method. Right. So after that, if suppose if your file is too large, so that the contents of the file cannot be entirely pasted on the screen over there on the console. So in that case, what you can do here is, instead of retrieving all the contents, you can just retrieve the as many characters as you want. So in this case, you can see here, I want to retrieve the z characters from 0 to 249 here. So that's why I have taken the first part missing, which says that start extracting from the 0th index value till the 250 index value here. Okay, so let me run this function here. So it takes a few seconds of the time. Why? Because it has to get connected to the internet with that URL, and then it has to extract the content. So it totally depends upon the speed of the internet here. Just try to rerun this. Okay, so I will just keep it as it is, and we'll continue with the next programs. Once the output has been displayed, then we'll continue with the same example. So meanwhile, we'll continue with the further examples here. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to download it. So the next part is, if you suppose if you want to check the any errors, for example errors in the case, in the sense, if you want to check whether we are able to get connected to that web page or not, or else if that web page exists or not. So in such cases, you can go for using this example here, right? So in this case, you can see here, so as usual, you need to use the request module, so in order to download something from the internet. So these two lines are going to remain same what I have just now discussed. So get method is to retrieve the contents from the file, right? So here you can see the purposely we have taken example of the page which doesn't exist here. So don't worry about the value of this parameter here. So purposely we have taken a value which doesn't exist, just to show you that what kind of error you will get, right? So in the next case, you can see here result dot raise for status. So this is the method which will tell you, or which will get you whether everything is going correctly or not. So what you need to do is, all with the object that you have created for this request module, so you have used the method known as the raise underscore for underscore status, right? So in this case, if I run this program, so this yeah, if you run this program, you can see here, so you are getting an error. So this is a normal error which you will be able to see if you run only these three lines of the codes here. So purposely we have taken a page which doesn't exist, and then we want to check the status, so whether it is a successful or whether it is a failure. So since it is the we have pointing to the page which doesn't exist, it is a failure here. So you can see here, for not for client error not found for the URL which doesn't exist here, right? So the I think by showing this kind of the errors, it is quite difficult for the non-technical person to understand this. So in order to make it most easier for the everyone to understand what is going wrong with this program here, so you can use for that you can use the try and the except block, where you can display the errors in the human readable form, that is in the normal persons will be able to even understand that code over there. So I'll just comment these two lines here and then I'll save it. And then once again I'll rerun this program just to show you what is the difference if you use the try and except block. Okay, you can see here by using the try and except block, it is showing you only the message. So in this, the first case, you can see it is showing you everything regarding the path of the file and regarding where it is going wrong, and even it is going to show you the http error, so which is not actually required for everyone who is reading this error here. So in order to understand it in simplicity, you can just simply display a English sentence where it will be very easy to understand by everyone here. Right? You can see here there was a problem for not for client error not found for this URL. So this is the only message which we want to display. That is done with this try and except block here. You can see that is done with this try and the except block. So what has been done here? So with to this program also we are trying to open that file and we are trying to access some contents from that file here, and within the try block we are executing this statement. That means it will try for this particular statement. If it is successful, then it is going to give the true result. Suppose the statement that you have taken within the try block, if it fails, then it will go for the except block, so where it is going to display the errors here. Right, so exception, as we have taken a one more variable to this, and we have taken the percentage s and percentage exe to fill the values to be filled as a part of the result here. So the result what you are getting here, everything that is 404 client error not found with this URL, so this is going to be displayed as a part of the try block here. So the percentage yes is nothing but 404 client error, which is the default result given by this failure of this statement here, and percentage exe will give you the URL of the that file which you want to get the contents over here. So basically this is how you are going to include these things into the Python program, where you want to check or where you want to display if something goes wrong with connecting to the internet, or if something goes wrong with downloading the information. Right. So let me see whether we are able to get the result for this function. Yeah. This is good. So we are interested to run this program. I don't understand why does it is taking so much time here. So let's wait here. Okay, so let us stop here itself with today's class. So I'll just continue with the same example, that is download.py, and I'll just clarify why it has been not downloaded here. Okay, so I'll continue with the in the next with the same concept in the next class. So till then you just practice all these examples. Thank you.